start. So I think basically nobody wants to read such a lengthy chart, so I'm sorry if anybody would really want to read it. So I would like to read it out.
Okay, go ahead.
The title of there are 6 really very short stories, so I think you can spare 10 minutes of your time listening to this. So the title of this work is 6 Milestones of Life. Especially I think after Shivir, because without Shivir, at least myself never analyzed any situation of my life. They just happened and that is past. So this is a chain starting from preconditioned puppet. A short story regarding this is, we all know the story of David and Goliath. There was a giant who was harassing the children in the village. One day a shepherd boy came to visit his brothers and asked, "Why don't you stand up and fight the giant?" The brothers replied, "Everybody said he is too big to hit." But David said, "No, he's just too big to miss." It's your perception that allows things to get to you. So don't let others' ideas make you a puppet, and be yourself, think yourself. When you start doing that, you start sensing things, and this was a story which Sandhya ma'am already told in the class. There was a man taking a morning walk at the beach. He saw that along with the morning tide came hundreds of starfish, and when the tide receded, they left behind themselves the starfish, and with them the morning sun rays, they would die. The tide was fresh and starfish were alive. The man took a few steps, picked one and threw it into the water. He did that repeatedly. Right behind there was another person who couldn't understand what this man was doing. He caught up with him and asked, "What are you doing? There are hundreds of starfish. How many can you help? What difference does it make?" This man did not reply, took 2 more steps, picked up another one, threw it into the water and said, "It makes a difference to this one." When you start sensing, you will have clarity in your thoughts, and clarity in your thoughts means confidence. When you have confidence, you won't be experiencing any kind of peer pressure. When there is no peer pressure, no confidence means you will experience peer pressure. There's another short story regarding this. A young executive with poor self-esteem was promoted. For social recognition, he entered the job. That means for peer pressure. He by his inner self, he couldn't reconcile himself to his new office and position. There was a knock at his door. To show how important and busy he was, he picked up the phone and then asked the visitor to come in. As the man waited for the executive kept talking on the phone, nodding and saying, "No problem, I can handle that." After a few minutes, he hung up and asked the visitor what he could do for him. The man replied, "Sir, I'm here to connect your phone." When you don't experience peer pressure, you give more priority to satisfy your ordered eye than the societal eye. What others want your eye to be. You want how you want your eye to be. Then rules get imbibed into yourself as self-discipline. Everybody wants freedom from rules, probably. Why and what does this mean? Irritated by the rules, a young boy asked his father, "Why do they make us walk in lines in the school? It's really annoying and is a great hindrance to my freedom." The father asked, "Why do you think groups of birds are flying in specific patterns even though no rules are imposed on them?" The boy reluctantly replied, "The birds are mad. They don't know how to use their freedom." The father said, "No, child, they are only wise enough to imbibe order into themselves as self-discipline. This is not hindrance for freedom but a path to freedom as you avoid chaos. This is the path for unity, prosperity, wisdom and success." Now when you have self-discipline, it's both forward and backward, from right understanding and to right understanding. Okay. Right understanding is you have a position somewhere, you can position somewhere yourself and you know where the goal is, but you're not having right understanding, so you tend to travel in a different path. The story is a farmer had a dog who used to sit by the roadside waiting for vehicles to come around. As soon as one came, he would run down the road, barking and trying to overtake it. One day, a neighbor asked the farmer, "Do you think your dog is ever going to catch a car?" The farmer replied, "That is not what bothers me. What bothers me is what he would do if he ever caught one car." So, when you have the right understanding, you wouldn't tend to deviate your path. You would know where the exact position of your goal is, and you would try to reach it. Okay, when you have this right understanding, that understanding is simply not enough for success. You need a plan of action. It should have a strategy. The last part is it is very easy to join two hands and pray for solutions of or to mishaps, but it is actually necessary to lend at least one hand to help others and ourselves. Now it's high time for a strategic plan of action. Let's start and keep going. A gesture of action most of the times means a lot compared to 1,000 pages of written work. So after this last thing, we should ensure that this won't enter into a cycle but end as a chain. Part of RHV, I think, is we are never compelled and pressurized to speak once. Thank you.
You did pretty good.